Each day, dozens are drawn to the eternal flame at Arlington National Cemetery, the grave of John F. Kennedy. And today, on the 25th anniversary of the assassination, hundreds more will be there. And we shall go there too, as in memory we do so often. And we'll have more on this anniversary day later in this half hour.
Party. And as NBC's Keith Morrison reports...
Mood in Baie-Comeau, Quebec, hometown of the first conservative prime minister of this century to win 2 consecutive majority governments.
I just feel very gratified, very humbled by the support of the people of Canada.
...was cut down by an assassin's bullet, and an era of American politics that some called Camelot was abruptly ended. This is a live picture of the grave of John Kennedy.
Consider him the best president since the end of World War II. For me, the 25th anniversary of John Kennedy's death also brings many memories. I first met him in 1957 when I began working for his brother Robert, the chief counsel of the Senate Labor Rackets Committee. John Kennedy was one of the senators on the committee. In 1960, I joined him on the campaign trail in the snow of Wisconsin. We talked in the garden of his home in Hyannisport, Massachusetts, awaiting the election returns. In the White House, we met 3 or 4 times a day in the Oval Office, discussing the important current issues. But I also joined him at official black-tie dinners. And in 1962, aboard the U.S. destroyer Joseph P. Kennedy, we watched the America's Cup race, him in shirt sleeves, me under a parka. From time to time, I pitted my terrible against his wonderful golf. I also developed a warm friendship with his wife, Jackie. In May of 1963, I presided at his 46th and last birthday. On November 22nd, 1963, I was aboard a presidential plane heading from Honolulu to Tokyo with 5 members of the cabinet. When we heard Kennedy had been shot, the plane was turned around. 30 minutes later, in a direct line from the White House, I heard the fatal words, "Lancer is dead." John Kennedy's life and presidency had ended. Pierre Salinger, ABC News, London.
And in Arlington Cemetery outside of Washington, some 12,000 people file by John F. Kennedy's gravesite every day. And there will be at least that many there today to see that eternal flame burn on. For the last 25 years, thousands of people a day have paid their respects at the president's grave.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Joan Lunden.
It is a Tuesday. It is November 22nd.
And this date, of course, a date forever embedded in our national memory, is a day of shock and of sorrow. November 22nd, 1963, 25 years ago today, shortly after noon, Dallas time, President John F. Kennedy was shot and killed. It was and still is a tragic event etched into the mind of every American alive at that time.
And I truly hope you can stay with us for this first half hour, because this morning we're going to remember the events and the feelings of that day through the words of some of the people who were there in Dallas and by the president's side. We're going to remember JFK the man with one of his closest friends and aides, Pierre Salinger, and take a step back and look at the mood of the country as it was in 1963 with a young journalist who was there that day in Dallas, Robert McNeil.
Rainfall here today and some heavy snow over the higher elevations, and the storm has not reached its peak of intensity yet as it moves in.